This episode of The Dog Show features Andrea Huspeni. Andrea is the founder of This Dog's Life, a resource for dog parents showcasing a curated collection of the best dog brands from around the world, while also providing advice and a community for dog parents. When she isn't working, Andrea enjoys being outside with her amazing dogs, exploring New York City and cooking. In the interview, we discuss why dental hygiene is important for dogs and how you can improve your dog's dental hygiene and get rid of bad breath with the Bye Bye Dog Breath Dental Kit. Andrea, welcome to the Dog Show today. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's a pleasure having you come on the show. So you've got quite a long history with different types of dogs. At the moment, you have a dog called Milo, which is a bulldog mix. Do you want to start by telling me a bit more about Milo?
Sure. So he's like a bully mix. Some people, I'm not done his DNA yet, but some people will be like, he could be like a pit bull terrier, American Staffordshire terrier, but he's like the blockhead type of dog. And he's great, but he's 55 pounds of like muscle. So before him, I've always had smaller dogs. I had grew up with smaller dogs. Lola, my previous dog, was 35 pounds. Another dog I had was Bentley, and he was 8 pounds. So going from like a small dog to like 55-pound dog of like muscle took a little bit of adjusting for me. But I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot with him in terms of like being a better dog owner. I think the bigger the dog you have, the bigger your responsibility is. And, when I had a long-haired Chihuahua mix, if you did anything wrong, you just pick him up or you scoop him up and you're like, okay, get on your way. But you weren't really teaching him or training him to be a great dog. You were just like, getting rid of the problem. But with like a bigger dog, you have to work on training a little bit more. And so he's great. He likes to go on his 20 to 30 minute walk every day. And then he just sleeps all day. So he's like this couch potato. He thinks he's 5 pounds, loves to snuggle all the time with me. He's a really, really good dog. He does have some things, like, I think it's like he doesn't love designer dogs like the Labradoodles as much. I think he's like, I'm a mutt from the street. But yeah, he's a great dog.
It's a good point you make about the different size of dogs because my French Bulldog is like 15 pounds. So if she does something which I don't like on the lead or something like that, and like there's a dangerous situation with other dogs, you can kind of just pick them up and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But when they're a bigger dog, which can actually pull a bit of weight, especially a bully mix, 55 pounds is hard to control, I imagine.
Well, and you think about it, like I have put myself in the eyes now of thinking about different things when I walk him. So when I used to have my 8-pound dog get all like his chest get, big and he's like kind of macho dog and he would walk up to a dog or pull on the leash or like kind of be a little bit of trouble on the leash. A lot of people would think that's funny or they'd laugh or whatever. But now if like a bigger dog does it, it's like your dog's out of control. So now I look at like little smaller dogs in my neighborhood and I kind of put a visualization. I'm like, what if this was a big dog? What if this was a German Shepherd or Rottweiler or a bully mix? I'm like, would I think that's okay? Would I think that is, acceptable. And so that's sort of why he has taught me to be a better dog parent is because you just can't get away with it. You can't get away with it. So we have to work much harder on training and much harder on manners with him. So he's definitely taught me a lot.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes you more aware because I'm the same. I look at some other big dogs and I'm almost happy that I'm not the one having to wrestle them when I'm on the lead, you know what I mean? But yeah, it would make you really aware of needing to train them and be disciplined and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I never thought about that before him. And now it's like, it's just a bigger responsibility for you. So, I mean, I think it helps because before, and I still kind of am, like a helicopter mom where I'm like, just like smother Milo, where I'm like, you do not need any training. You can live off treats or whatever you want. But you need to give him boundaries. You need to give him like, okay, we got to train before, you eat, you got to do this and this and this. And so I think it helps him too, because I actually think dogs, definitely like to be on a schedule or a routine, and it forces me to do that.
So like myself and many other people that are working in the dog space, you've got an interesting story of, coming from a regular industry into the dog space, which is like so much fun and enjoyable. How did that play out? What was that story?
Sure. So always been a dog lover. This was not my first attempt at a dog business, but I've always been a dog lover. So before this, I was at Entrepreneur Magazine, which is a publication that, obviously interviews founders and entrepreneurs from all walks of life. And I started out as a writer and then went to journalist and then the special projects director. But as I moved up, I had less time to write. And so I started This Dog's Life as a dog blog for actually New York dog parents, just helping them with like dog-friendly restaurants, where you can go with your dog, what you can do with your dog, just as a way, like I said, as like a side hustle or just maybe a creative outlet while I was working full time. And I really, really enjoyed it. But that's how it started as a blog. And then as I was just around interviewing entrepreneurs and founders and learning about startups, I was like, I got so inspired by them. I mean, I love the idea of people challenging the status quo, trying to do their own thing. And so I just like kind of took the leap. And when I took the leap, that's when I was like, I can't just have it be a blog site for New Yorkers. It not only had to evolve to be more for the general dog parent population, but I wanted to have it be the foundation for something bigger, including an e-commerce component to it. So that's when I launched the store.
Okay, and what made you start with? Because you started with a dental product. What was that? How did you land on that product as the thing to start with?
So it was a couple of things, but I had just spoken about my dog Bentley, who he was definitely my soul dog. He was my dog that I had as an adult, and he was everything to me. And he lived till he was 16. But when he started to get older, as dogs do, like things start to happen to their body and their health. And, he was getting arthritis and he was, getting blind, he couldn't see. He had lots and lots of issues, but he also had really, really bad breath. And by that time, it was just, I couldn't take him to I couldn't take him to the vet to get dental cleaning because he was too old, and going under would have been it would have been more risky for him. And he just would not accept brushing his teeth. And so, watching him eat or, and chewing, and it was just not enjoyable. Treats were not enjoyable for him. Nothing was enjoyable for him. And so it was really hard for me to watch that. And it was really, I felt very guilty about it. I was like, I could have probably prevented this. And now, like in his last years of his life, he's not enjoying it as much as he fully could. And so, he was kind of the inspiration. So when he passed and I was like, I want to start, go into the store, I wanted to do wellness products. And so I started looking around for dental. I was like really, really interested in dental because of the experience I had with Bentley. And I was seeing like there wasn't a lot of innovation in the space in some areas. And then there was also ingredients that I just didn't really find to be amazing. So there might have been like a product that could help with plaque or could help with tartar, but maybe it's a raw, something like great for your dog to ingest. And so that was kind of like where I'm like, I really want to get behind a brand or that creates wellness products that use natural ingredients to help with a health issue. And so dental is definitely my first one. I don't think it would be a lot of people if they went into the wellness areas first supplement. A lot more people focus on like joint pain or CBD is a really big one, but I really wanted to do dental first, and I'm glad I did. And besides the story of Bentley, as I had been doing my research, I realized that dental health, it's the number one health issue for dogs, which I didn't know. By age 3, I think 85% of dogs have it in some way. And the big reason is no one wants to brush their dog's teeth, or they do teeth, they do cleanings, or they don't do cleanings, which are all very, very important things to do. But yeah, it's like if 85% of dogs are having it by age 3, like dental disease, and it gets progressively worse. It's like 9-10 years this dog's going where, they're not going to say my teeth hurt or my mouth hurts, but they could be having pain for a majority of their life. And so I really look to provide a preventative solution.
Okay, so what is described about Bentley having bad breath, I guess that was the symptom, the obvious symptom from our perspective, because you can smell that. But you also mentioned that he had like trouble eating. So I imagine he had sore gums and things like that as well. So that was all like, I guess then that resulted in dental based issues, which all came from the hygiene of his mouth. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, those are symptoms, but, dental disease, like I said, it's a dental disease. So the biggest one is periodontal disease, which is like gingivitis disease. And, that takes place in 4 stages, and bad breath is like one of the first symptoms. But, then it can lead to gingivitis. And if that's not treated, this bad bacteria can get into a dog's gum, and it can not only, get that foul breath, but it could eventually go into the bloodstream and cause bigger issues like kidney disease, or affecting kidneys, the liver, and even the heart. So it can be deadly. And I actually think one of my parents' dogs passed away. We don't know for sure, but I have a feeling passed away because they didn't do good dental care with her. And her liver shut down because of it.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of dog owners aren't aware of that kind of knock-on effect. They probably think, bad dental hygiene, bad health, maybe they'll lose a tooth or something like that. Like that's bad, but like they probably don't think about those. They probably don't think about those like serious health issues which could result from bad dental hygiene.
Yeah, it's like that's why I'm like one of those people that like become like obsessed with it, because I'm like, this impacts like a dog's entire body. And it is so much more than a loose tooth or a tooth that, just comes out. It's like a huge, huge issue. And so, for me and for this dog's life, I'm like, can we do small steps throughout small actions throughout a dog's day to help with preventative care? I do think brushing your dog's teeth is the gold standard, but 99% of people don't do it. And I also am really like anything you do at home, does not replace going to the vet, so you still need to get cleanings. You still need to do that. So, but people love the products. Like, we're already sold out of it. Again, I keep selling out of it, which is a little bit stressful because people, like, if they don't get it sent to them, I have 2 products. I have a dental stick and a dental powder. And the dental powder sells out all the time. And so they get like not happy once it's sold out. So they definitely love it. So that makes me really, really happy, is when I hear stories from customers about like how much it's impacted and helped their dog.
So explain to me how they both work. So the dental stick sounds pretty self-explanatory. It sounds like a chew that the dog would have. The powder, that's not something I've heard of before.
Sure. And yeah, it's interesting. Yep. Dental stick's super self-explanatory. It's just more focused on a holistic approach. And so it doesn't just like scrape. It uses a mechanical abrasion to help with the combating of tartar, but it also has ingredients to support healthy gums, freshen breath, and like work on balancing the bacteria in the dog's mouth. The powder, which I was actually surprised it sells much more than the sticks. And I was like, I was thinking, to your point of what you just said, was like, I've never heard of this powder. I was thinking it was going to take more education to educate people on how it works. But it doesn't. And so basically, it's a powder that you sprinkle on your dog's food, and it works best with harder food, but some people will use it on wet food. And when your dog is chewing the food, they're producing saliva, and the saliva activates with the ingredients of the powder, such as like the zinc or the natural zeolites, and that acts as like a little bit of a microabrasion to start scrubbing the teeth and acting like a cleaner.
Oh, wow. So I guess, is that something that the owners are using every meal the dog has, or how often are they using that?
So we get it. I mean, I think some people will use it once a day, just in the morning, and some people use it for every meal. So I think it kind of depends on their preference and how long they want it to last.
I mean, that sounds to me like an easy thing to add into the routine. Like we always, for example, like we spray fish oil on our dog's food when she eats as well. So like just adding another thing which is going to help with the hygiene would be a simple addition. But I guess the chews as well. So with the sticks, are they edible sticks or are they kind of like the dog? Because that's the one I'm imagining in my head. The one that you give the dog and they chew on it for a while and then it like they can eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yep, I was just like, I don't know if I have one. But yeah, no, yep. It's like a tree. It's like a a 2.5-inch stick, and like it's not like a bone where they chew on it. It's more like a treat, like a treat. Like they can finish it in like under a minute. Like it's like a treat like that way. So, but they definitely need to be dogs that chew it. You can't like some people will, be like my dog inhales, like doesn't swallow and like, or just swallows and doesn't chew. And I'm like, unfortunately, or our customer service person will be like, unfortunately, like this product might not be suitable for your dog because your dog actually does need to chew on it. But yeah, they're great. And they're like, soft enough so you can break it. So if you have a smaller dog, people will break it down. Or, they'll just use it in replacement of a treat. So they're getting like a benefit versus just giving their dog a treat. And yeah, they love it too.
That's what we do. We use it as a treat-based thing, as a reward, but our dog loves chewing on it as well, and you get the benefit from all that kind of stuff. But so you've got the Bye Bye Dog Breath Dental Kit. Does that come with the powder and the chews, or?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So my goal, dental we've had a little bit, but yeah, my goal is always to have, have the kit like where they can shoot, if they want, like they'll treats and then the powder, and then they get like a discount for bundling them together. But as we grow that line, I also want to let people be able to customize, maybe the sticks don't work, or maybe they don't like the powder. Here's like another option for you. And as we continue to grow beyond dental, I like the idea of kitting or bundling just to give people the opportunity to kind of customize what their dog needs, or like what the solution they need for their dog, based on like what health condition they're looking to target.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing those tips about dog dental hygiene. It's a hugely important topic, even though it's not something it's not something people might talk about all the time, but I think it's important for dog owners to know more about. But this dog's life is about much more than just dental hygiene. So tell me a bit more about your curated collection of dog products.
Sure. So I started with dog dental. Like that was just like, we're going to launch with this. And this dog's life in terms of our in-house products, will always do supplements. We want to do wellness products because like I said, I think that there's a lot of innovation that can happen in this space. I think there's a lot of customers being more educated or on like what goes into a dog product. They're reading labels more. They're looking for more transparency and more credibility, which I applaud. And I really think that that's really important. So I think there's a shift happening, not in just the wellness space, but also like dog food. It's huge in the US especially. But what I started to do is that, I was like, this is our mission, these are our ethos, we're looking for the best of the best. And so when I did that, I got featured in a big department store here. And so did other dog brands that really fit the same same values that we had. And I was like, looking at them, I'm like, I love this product and I love this product. I'm like, I would never have found this product if we hadn't been all featured together. And so I was like, why don't we elevate these other brands? And these other brands create products that we're not necessarily going to create, like dog beds, and not, like dog beds that have, uh, orthopedic support, or that, have some sort of other benefit to it than just being a dog bed. Or why don't we have collars or like slow feeder dog bowls that are created ethically? So we started to look for brands and like look at all these brands and realizing that their only outlet for selling is on their website. So it's more of the same kind of direct to consumer approach. So it's like, can we bring them all together and create like a marketplace? I always say it's like the Williams Sonoma of the dog world. Can we create this marketplace for more premium brands, brands that will last longer, stand the test of time? And so that has been really, really fun, because you get to meet all these artisans or all these founders that are like so passionate about what they do. And, it's an easy sell then, because there's just nothing better than selling a product that you believe in and that not only a lot of love went into it, but it's just like a very high quality product. So it's not going to go bad, and you're not going to have to replace your dog bed every year, or the collar's not going to rip. It's going to be like it might be a little bit more of an investment up front, but it will last longer. And so I get excited about that.
Well, it sounds like a fun process for you to meet those founders and kind of curate those products, but it's also a great place for people to go if they're kind of looking for high quality dog products as well.
Yeah, like high quality and like things you just don't see in the like big box retailers. It just doesn't make sense for me, their margins. And I'm not talking, when I say premium, it's not like I'm not going to sell we're not going to sell like a $750 dog bag. Yeah. There are $750 dog bags out there that get sold a lot, but it's just like, I think a premium is just going a step, still making it attainable for people. I think it's pretty important for that. I think a lot more people are thinking of their dogs as part of their family. They're spending money on them, and they really, really want the best for them. And so they want the best for them because they want to spoil them, but they also want to feel not guilty. And I want to make that attainable for a lot of dog parents, not just a few.
Well, Andrea, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I've really enjoyed having the chat, learning about your story and then your business. Where's the best place for people to go to find out more about This Dog's Life?
So you can go to www.shop.thisdogslife.co for the store. And if you want to go to read up about dog news or get inspired, you can go to thisdogslife.co. And thank you so much for having me. I really, really, really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
No, perfect. I'll share those links and I'll share your socials and everything like that so everyone can check out This Dog's Life and see what you're doing.
Thank you.